You're born in 1994 in rural Sinaloa. Dirt roads, no streetlights, no future visible from any angle. The village has one rule: stay poor or find another way. Nobody teaches you which way is the right one. Your father works the cornfields every day of his life. Calloused hands, bent back, zero complaints. He dies at 52. Heart gave out between rows of corn. The land took everything and gave nothing back. 3 younger siblings. You're the oldest son now. That weight lands before you're anywhere near ready. Your mother works double shifts at the maquiladora, $8 a day. She comes home still smiling. You watch kids grow up 3 ways here: leave, stay broke, or disappear into the mountains for the organization. The organization is invisible and everywhere at once. Nobody talks about it. Everyone knows exactly what it is. The ones who left send money home. A photo from the north once a year. That's the entire dream right there. The ones who stayed are farmers like your father. Corn and debt and the same math that never adds up. The ones who work for the organization drive new trucks and say little. They pay for their mother's groceries. You're 17. Your cousin pulls into the village in a white truck. He's 19. You haven't seen him in a year. The truck is spotless. His boots cost more than everything in your house put together. He looks rested. He says he works security. You don't ask where. He doesn't say. You both understand the whole conversation. That night you lie awake looking at your sleeping siblings. $8 a day. 3 more years. Then what? The village doesn't give you a choice. It shows you the only door with a handle. You already know you'll open it. One extet ors. 3 days later, your cousin takes you to meet a man named Gordo. You dress in the cleanest shirt you own. Gordo runs the plaza. He's eating expensive steak in a town where most people eat beans every single day. He doesn't look dangerous. He looks comfortable. That's the most dangerous thing about him. You'll learn later. The offer: guard duty at a rancho 2 days into the mountains. 8,000 pesos a week, every week. 8,000 pesos. That's more than your mother makes in 2 months. You feel it land in your chest. You ask what exactly you're guarding. Gordo cuts his steak and smiles. Livestock, he says. Nothing else. You know it isn't livestock. You've known since he said the mountains. You say yes anyway. The word comes easy. Your cousin drives you home. Nobody speaks in the truck. The radio plays narco corridos. You stare at the road. You tell your mother it's agricultural work, up in the mountains. Good pay. She doesn't ask which mountains. She already knows. You can see it in how she stops washing the dishes, how she keeps her back to you. She cries that night, quietly, so you won't hear. You hear anyway. You stare at the ceiling until morning. Morning. You pack 1 bag. Rifle you don't own yet. Phone you'll have to leave behind. Just clothes and a photo. Your youngest sister is awake. She asks if you're coming back for her birthday. You say absolutely yes. You hug your mother. She holds on longer than usual. Neither of you acknowledges what you both know this is. The truck comes at 6. 2 men you don't know. They don't introduce themselves. That's your first lesson. You climb in, the village disappears in the mirror, the bitter taste in your mouth. That's your first moral transaction. 6 hours on mountain roads. The last 2 with a blindfold on. They don't trust new arrivals with the location. Hands pull the blindfold off. Your eyes adjust. What you see takes a few seconds to fully understand. 40 hectares of coca and poppy hidden under jungle canopy. Irrigation lines. Processing sheds. Order everywhere. Dozens of armed men move between the rows. This isn't a farm. It's a military operation wearing a farm's clothes. Your jefe de seguridad is called El Tuerto. One eye, former Zeta. He runs orientation like a military inspection. El Tuerto doesn't speak loud. He speaks slow. Every word lands like it was placed there with purpose. The rules: no phones outside approved calls, no real names beyond the rancho, no questions about the product, no contact with family except through approved channels, 1 call a week, 3 minutes, that's your entire outside world. Weapons training starts that afternoon. You fired a rifle before, not like this. El Tuerto doesn't teach you to shoot. He teaches you to not hesitate. That's different from shooting. Hesitation is what gets people killed, he says. You sleep in a bunkhouse with 11 other men. No windows, 1 fan, jungle noise all night, every night. On day 3, you walk the full perimeter for the first time. 4 posts, 2 kilometers of jungle wall, no gaps. You realize something on that walk. There's no fence keeping intruders out. The fence keeps workers in. This isn't security work. It's a prison. You're simultaneously the guard and one of the inmates. That night, you try to remember what you told your mother. Agricultural work, you said. Up in the mountains. You decide to focus on the 8,000 pesos. Keep your head down. Learn the rules. Survive the first month. They issue you an AK pattern rifle on day 1. Mexican military surplus. The grip is worn smooth by someone else's hands. The AK works every time. Rain, mud, heat, neglect. It doesn't care. You sleep with it, leaned against the wall. The radio is your second life. Channel discipline is law here. Wrong frequency means punishment. Right frequency means lifeline. You learn the channels in one day. You never break them. Some rules you understand immediately without needing reasons. The rotation schedule is laminated. 6-hour shifts, 4 posts, color-coded by week. The jungle runs on military time now. 6 hours on post, 6 hours in the bunk, 6 hours light duties. Repeat until your body forgets another rhythm existed. The machete isn't for the enemy, it's for the jungle itself, which tries to reclaim the paths every 72 hours. The jungle doesn't stop growing. You cut the same spot 3 times a week. It's like arguing with something that can't lose. The burner phone is 1 call per week. 3 minutes max, scripted conversation only. I'm fine, work is good, don't worry. You learn to say everything in 3 minutes. You learn what can't be said at all. The gap between those is your whole life now. Boots, waterproof, steel-toed, already broken in by someone before you. The jungle eats footwear in 2 months flat. You get issued 2 shirts, 2 pants, 1 rain poncho. That's your uniform. No insignia. You don't officially exist. The mess hall is a concrete slab with a tin roof. The food is decent. The cartel feeds its workers better than the army feeds soldiers. Meals are the only scheduled social time. You eat in 15 minutes. You don't discuss the work. Everyone follows this. Daily rhythm established. Post, bunk, eat, post, bunk, eat. The jungle operates on this loop. So do you now. By week 2, you stop noticing the heat. By week 3, the sounds. By week 4, you stop counting the days. The jungle is alive in ways the city never prepared you for. Snakes, insects, rot, 95% humidity at 4 a.m. Week 1, something moves in the dark on every shift. By week 4, you've identified most of it. Animals, just animals. Guard duty is 80% boredom and 20% adrenaline. The adrenaline comes from false alarms. Real threats haven't arrived yet. 6 hours staring into the same piece of jungle wall teaches you its schedule, which birds move, when, what silence means. The other guards are men from villages exactly like yours. You recognize the shape of the story before anyone tells it. The unspoken rule among guards: don't get close, don't share too much. Friendships are liabilities in the jungle. There's one man, Ramon, who talks too much. By week 6, he's been relocated. Nobody asks where. You learn from that. Food is decent. Tortillas, meat, coffee. The cartel feeds workers better than the government feeds soldiers. Week 6. El Tuerto takes you to the processing shed for the first time. The chemical smell hits before you open the door. Inside, workers in masks over crude tables. Chemicals, presses, bricks of product wrapped in plastic. Your mouth goes dry. Some workers look too young. One catches your eye and drops it fast. That image stays with you. El Tuerto watches you watching them. Eyes front, he says. 1 sentence. You understand it completely. Back at your post, the shift feels longer. The chemical smell stays in your clothes for 2 days. Then it becomes normal. By week 8, this is just work. You wake up, you do the job, you eat, you sleep. That's the most disturbing part. You think about the village less. You think about the 8,000 pesos more. The math of compromise starts doing itself. 110 days in, you are lean, quiet, watchful, and no longer surprised by anything. Welcome to the jungle. It made you. Week 11. Night shift, Eastern Perimeter, 2 a.m. The jungle has a sound it makes when something moves through it wrong. You hear it for about 40 seconds before you're sure. Then you key the radio. Movement on the Eastern Perimeter. That's all you say. 4 minutes. That's how long before El Tuerto arrives with 4 men. They move fast and completely silent. El Tuerto gestures for you to hold your position. They move into the tree line. You hear nothing. Total silence for 3 minutes. Then voices. Low, not yours. Then sounds that aren't voices. You stay at your post. That's what you were told to do. They drag two figures from the tree line. Young men, rival cartel scouts, terrified in the way that means they know what's next. You expect zip ties, a truck, a relocation. That's what you tell yourself is going to happen next? You're wrong. El Tuerto looks at you once. Stay at your post. 4 words. Your body obeys before your mind processes them. You hear things from the tree line for about 90 seconds. You will hear them again in your sleep for years. Ezi, then silence. Real silence. The jungle kind. Then El Tuerto, and the 4 men walk back out. No captives, no conversation. The rest of the shift lasts 4 more hours. You count every minute. Your hands are steady. That surprises you. Morning. 2 fresh mounds of earth near the irrigation ditch on the south edge of the tree line. Nobody points at them. Nobody talks about it. Not at breakfast, not on the next shift, not ever. The Rancho digests it without a word. You go behind the equipment shed. You throw up until there's nothing left. Nobody sees. You make sure of that. You stand up, wipe your mouth, and walk back to your post. Your face is blank. You learn that from El Tuerto. Espo. That's the last time your body will protest what your eyes see. After this, it just accepts what you show it. El Tuerto calls you in after your 3rd month. You sit across from him and wait. He doesn't rush anything, ever. He says you're reliable, quiet, and you don't drink. In this operation, that makes you exceptional. He says it without a compliment. Jefe de turno, shift leader, 8 men under you, 12,000 pesos a week. You're accountable for their mistakes now too. 12,000 pesos. You do the math. Your mother doesn't have to work both shifts anymore. You call her that week and tell her. You manage 8 guards. You know their routines, their weaknesses. You don't let yourself know much more than that. 6 weeks in, one of your men falls asleep on post. A full hour. You find him. The rules say what happens next. You enforce it. The rules say what they say. You hate yourself for exactly 4 days. Then you stop counting. Month 5, a general visits. Gold jewelry, bodyguards. He walks the rancho like a CEO on quarterly review. He shakes your hand, says El Tuerto speaks well of you. You feel proud for exactly 1 moment before you catch yourself. You analyze it that night in the bunk. Pride from a cartel handshake. You don't like what you find. Money starts flowing home steadily. New roof on the house. Siblings in school. Mother stops working the double shift. You're building something for them. That's what you tell yourself on the hard nights. It's not wrong. It's not complete either. The golden handcuffs. You can feel them the first time you think about leaving and immediately think of the roof, the tuition. El Tuerto sees the shift in you. You're starting to think like a jefe, he says. You're not sure it's praise. The rancho's production increases. More workers, longer shifts, bigger shipments. You're part of the engine now, not just a guard. Year 1 ends. You are not the 17-year-old from the truck anymore. You're not sure yet what you are instead. Month 14. A truck arrives at midday. Different kind of delivery. You know this because nobody announces it. 6 people climb out. Not workers, not guards. Their body language tells you everything before their faces do. They're not volunteers. You can see it in how they hold their arms, how they look at the exit they're already past. One of them is maybe 15, wearing a school backpack. The backpack tells the whole story in one object. You're ordered to secure the perimeter during their orientation. You know what orientation means now. You've been here long enough. This isn't scouts in the tree line. This is different. Something fires inside you for the first time in months. You could do something. You think about it for 40 seconds on the way to your post. 40 seconds is a long time here. You do nothing. You secure the perimeter. You follow the order exactly as given. Your hands don't shake. That night you can't sleep. Not from guilt exactly. You've buried guilt. From something you can't name for 3 hours. Then you find it. You don't know where your line is anymore. You thought you had one. You're not sure you do. Every man in here has a line he told himself he wouldn't cross. You just watched yours move and did nothing to stop it. The morning shift comes. You do the job. Your face shows exactly what El Tuerto's face shows. Nothing. El Tuerto watches you at breakfast. Says nothing. Then, passing, don't think. Men who think in the jungle don't last. Oh, you hear the advice. You understand it. You also understand that you can't stop thinking. That might be the last thing left of you. The backpack. You keep returning to it. The school backpack on a 15-year-old in a place like this. You can't file it away. You finish the week. You collect the 12,000 pesos. You write home. You don't know how to explain who's writing anymore. Month 8 of year 2. Word comes down, there's an informant inside the unit. Internal investigation begins immediately. Everyone is a suspect. You notice men watching each other differently at meals. Trust drains out of the Rancho in 3 days. The sicarios arrive on Tuesday. Calm men in clean shirts who ask calm questions. That's the worst kind of interrogation. They ask about your routines, your calls, who you've talked to. They're not angry. Angry would be easier to read. You walk out an hour later. Not cleared, not accused, suspended between. That's its own kind of sentence. 2 days later, a federal police officer makes contact through your cousin. He found a channel. He knows about the Rancho. The officers offer coordinates, schedules, names. In exchange, witness protection. New name, new state, new life. Maybe. 3 options. Cooperate with the feds, live differently maybe, stay loyal, keep your family safe for now. Run, doom everyone. You run the math on each door. Every option is a betrayal of something. You need more information before you can choose. Then the information arrives. 48 hours before the organization figures it out, your cousin is the informant. Your cousin, the one who introduced you to Gordo, the one who drove you to the truck, that cousin. 48 hours! The organization will know in 2 days. The federal officer needs an answer now. You have to choose. Protecting your cousin means betraying the organization. Informing on your cousin means his death. Running means everyone suffers. You make a choice. We won't say which one. What matters is, every option was a betrayal of something real. You feel something leave you when you make it, not guilt. Guilt left earlier. Something quieter. Something you needed. The next morning, you wake up and go to your post, same as always. Only you know what the morning is actually carrying. 72 hours after the choice, the order comes. Controlled demolition of the Rancho. Federales are incoming. They burn what they can, bury what they can't. The Rancho disappears in 4 hours like it was never there. 3 trucks leave in different directions. You're in the second one. No blindfold this time. They don't care if you see the route. You're relocated to a different state. New Rancho, new guards, new jungle. Same operation, same rules, new coordinates. They give you a new role, Jefe de Seguridad for the new site. The promotion you earned, the promotion you didn't want. Your cousin's fate is not discussed. You don't ask. You already know. Some things you don't need confirmed to carry. Your mother moves. New city, new home, paid for in cash you sent. She asks 0 questions. You love her for that. The phone calls grow shorter. The silences between what you can say and what happened get longer every week. You've lost 22 pounds since the first truck ride. Not from hunger, from sweat, heat, and the jungle eating stress. Ear infection from 18 months of humidity. Rancho medic hands you antibiotics. Nobody files a claim here. A scar on your forearm from the Sinaloa ranchos last night. You tell no one how it happened. You barely remember yourself. You look in the mirror in the new bunkhouse bathroom. You try to find the 17-year-old from the village. He's not there. The face in the mirror knows what you know. The rules, the roots. The math of what lives here and what doesn't survive it. You think about the village, your siblings finishing school, the roof you built with money that has blood on its edges. 2 years in, you are good at this. That's not something you celebrate. That's something you manage, quietly, alone. The jungle took your innocence first, then your sleep, then your cousin. Now it's taking the parts you didn't know you'd miss. Year 3, Tuesday. A drone appears above the new Rancho at dawn. Small, black, moving too slowly to be random. You radio it in. The Jefe nods once, says nothing. You've been here long enough to read that nod. Thursday, dawn. Rival cartel hits the Rancho. Better armed, better coordinated than anyone you've processed here. You've been trained for this for 3 years. Your body moves before your mind catches up. Post, cover, radio, sector. It lasts 11 minutes. That's how long it takes for something like this to go from chaos to silence. When it's over, 3 of your guards are down. You check them in order. 2 dead before you reach them. 1 alive, barely. One of the dead is 19. Same age your cousin was when he pulled up in the white truck and showed you the door. You radio the count. Your voice is steady. You've learned how to deliver bad numbers without letting them echo. The organization offers you a desk role in the city. Logistics. Cleaner hands. Safer life. Deeper in. You know what deeper means. Wansisi. You think about the desk. You think about running. 2 years of that loop. Same ending every time. Expan, you don't run. Men with families don't run from organizations like this. You know what happens to the families of men who run. You end up in a safe house in an unnamed city. Plastic chair, peeling walls. You've been relocated again. This is the new normal. Your phone has one contact, your mother, 6 weeks without calling. You don't know who answers when she picks up. You used to know who you were, a kid from the village with younger siblings and a father who worked the fields until he didn't. The jungle is 400 miles away. You can still smell it on some mornings. It doesn't care about distance. It came with you. The village showed you the one door with a handle. You opened it, can't find the door back. Maybe there isn't one.